Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danny Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello. I know we're back a few minutes down the track. We've just had a lovely chat with Jimbo Stokes. He was first single. It was lovely to talk to him. He's got some exciting music coming up, and I think we've got a lot to listen from him coming forward. So when you finish here, make sure you do head over and follow him on all the socials because he's going really well. Kaz, thank you. Welcome back. And I'm surprised you're not heading up to Gympie. I wish I was. It would be lovely. It would be certainly a lot warmer than what it is here tonight. Even though Gympie's cold, it still would be warmer than it is here. So we've got Allan Cameron waiting for us down in the green room. He's back with another song, so it's pretty exciting. And this weekend we haven't got interviews, but we have got people all around the country at the moment going to Gympie, going to different shows. So keep an eye out on the pages because you'll probably see some lives coming up with, you know, some interesting artists and interesting acts that they see around. So keep an eye out for them because we're so lucky to have them and they're volunteering. So keep supporting them because they deserve it. We might welcome Allan into the room. Hello.
Hi, Danni. Hey, everybody.
Hi. It's so good to have you back. It's been a little while, but it feels like, I don't know, time this year's sort of all kind of gone crazy and I don't know where we are. But
it's a bit confusing, yeah.
It is, isn't it? And you know what I think really confuses it is Tamworth was in April. So it doesn't feel like, it sort of feels like it should be earlier in the year.
It really does. Yeah, that we were just talking about that April thing was fantastic, but yeah, it just messed my head up totally.
But you know, the thing that I just was jealous because I'm never going to get to experience Tamworth without my clothes sticking to me. That was something I was thinking, gee, that must be nice to walk down Peel Street. Yeah.
That was pretty nice. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's already people popping in. I'm sure you know Kaz. Kaz has popped in the room to say hello. And she said, Tamworth is on your bucket list. So you've never been to Tamworth, Kaz? Because I have. And I think you definitely, if you haven't been, you need to get up there. You will love it. And Paula is in the room too. Sorry?
Yeah, no, Kaz, go. You'll love it.
Oh, I'm surprised. Kaz has done so much musically, and yeah, how you've been a few times. To you, does Gympie? See, for me, Tamworth feels completely different to anything that I could ever explain it to, and Gympie for me has a similar feel, obviously in a different way. Does Gympie sort of have a different feel for you over other festivals?
Yeah, no, Gympie to me is different. It's somewhere, it's a halfway point between other festivals and Tamworth probably. So it's a little bit of that everybody together, enjoying it all, you know, rather than just going to a big stage. But Tamworth is another thing again. And, you know, I grew up there and at least some of my life it hadn't even started yet. Yeah. But that was this year walking down the street. I actually parked right down the far end, the Hungry Jack's end of Peel Street. Oh, yes. So if anybody's been there, they'll know what I'm talking about. Which is every time I go, there's new buildings. But and walk down the whole street, and I'm so glad I did because then you start to hear the buskers and the music sort of in the distance, and then you hit the buskers, and it's it just made me smile. It just made my heart lift. You know, you just go, I'm back in Tamworth. This is this festival, and then you hit a few more, and then you hit Fan Zone at the old post office.
Yes, just there on the corner. Yeah.
And then there's just stages everywhere now. Yeah. There's in that centre and off to the parks and everything.
Yeah. It's grown, hasn't it? It's
really incredible. Has grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do it so well now. It's so well organised. The big stages are as good as any stage anywhere now. Yeah, and you know, I don't want to say, I'm not saying this in a disparaging way or a negative way. There's no hint of Hicksville anymore.
Oh gosh,
and
no.
it was always cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it stands on its own.
It does,
really cool.
absolutely. And it's a hard one. We can sell it as much as anything, and it's impossible to sell it to the level of amazing that it is. That feel that you get when you are in Tamworth, and then the feel that you get when you're leaving, or that you feel like, oh my gosh, you're tired, but you sort of get that Tamworth blues for a bit, and you think, wow, it just had such a great feeling that you'd push through those exhausting days, and you'd go home and you wouldn't have a voice, but it was worth every second of it.
Yeah, everybody has to go at least once.
At least once, that's right. Chelsea has popped in to say hello.
Hi, Chelsea.
Kaz said that she's been to 45 Tamworths, but not to Gympie.
Oh, wow. It's the other way around. Okay.
You're the other way around. So
that makes
Karen,
more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Karen has popped in to say hi. And yeah, Kaz grew up in Tamworth, so but you're not there now, are you, Kaz? Whereabouts? I get muddled. Tasmanian. I'm not supposed to be that clever. But yeah, so we've got some people from all around the world popping in at the moment. I know we had some people from the UK a little while ago. So hello to everybody. Tell us where you're watching from. We want to know what you're up to. Allan, we haven't had you on for a little while, but last time was your single that, as we said, we couldn't get on Spotify. You didn't exist yet, which is crazy. This has been your life, but you are there now, and tomorrow is a big day for you, isn't it? Releasing.
Really exciting, yeah.
Really? So you're not nervous? You're okay?
I'm not nervous, and I think I said to you before that does make me worry that I've forgotten something. Because I've spent all day finishing editing video for the single, so I suppose that's helped. I haven't had time, but everything, and this is like Jimbo. It was I listened to a little bit of the Jimbo interview, which was really nice and interesting, and because he's gone through it too. That
yes, that's right.
For all the other people who want to put stuff out. Once you get past that first one, it does get much easier. It just all happened. Everything did what it was supposed to. And I have had a lot of gigs on, which has also meant I haven't had a lot of time to think about it.
Yes.
But I think also because this song is totally mine and right from my life. So I can honestly say I'm just really excited and proud that literally the whole world has a chance to hear it, And I
love that. Isn't that exciting? So, and as you said, last time was, things were different, and this time it's, you're finally there and it's worked for you. And I think you're right. Keeping busy makes you forget those nerves and work past it. But I know last time we spoke, gigs they were slowly starting to come back. So it's lovely to hear you say you've had lots of gigs and been busy out there again. That's a big change for us all.
It's been a bit mad, actually. One of the reasons I've had a bit of a gap is I plan to have another single out in the middle of this period, and we in Saltbush 6, the band we're still sort of I'm still in. We lost our other guitarist Brad Hooper this year, and that scarpered us a bit with all I certainly don't dwell on because it sounds like what I do is lost. But yeah, it was obviously it broke our hearts. We'd lost Marlon Holden, and it was a little hard to recover. And I had another really up tempo, upbeat song which I love, and I was all ready to go.
Yes,
I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't put it out, and so it put me in a very a lot more pensive, more thoughtful sort of mood, and so I spent this time going through my back catalogue and all the songs that probably mean the most to me, that are real story songs, and a lot more. This one is a bit more ballady, but some of them are mid-tempo. But I've got. I nearly put out an EP right now. I'll probably do that soon.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
It just felt the right time to be talking from my heart.
Yeah, and as you said, you're right. Father's Day is just around the corner as well. crazy that it is, but it is. We're nearly in September.
Yeah.
But so it is a beautiful time to be releasing it. When did you write this song? Have you been sitting on it for a little while?
Yeah, I actually, so this is a long, I'll leave a bit out of it, but I actually wrote it in the early 90s.
Okay.
And my wife Lynn reminded me, I actually performed it at the Star Maker when I was in it.
Oh, did you?
So
wow.
This is 93.
93, yeah.
Maybe I can lie and say it's later, but hang on.
You know, he's got it there. I bet.
I have props, and so I had
wow,
it on one of these things.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I had my friend's son telling me he didn't know what they were and he couldn't understand why one side had part A, the other side had part B. And he said, I think they've made a mistake. And we're like, no, you turn it around. You play the second side. How perfect is that?
Yeah, so this is I remember I was reading and I meant to find it. I had a really good songwriting book. I might have found that later, but I was really exploring songwriting as a craft, So there's,
yes.
And this is a great thing. I hope, we might talk a little bit more about the Tamworth Songwriters Association and some of those groups that really help young artists and experienced artists just hone their craft, So it's one thing to want to sing and have, a natural gift.
Yes.
Sorry, I shouldn't do that. It's a natural gift, but like anything, it's a wonderful thing to read, to study other people, to listen to. Just listening to Jimbo.
Yeah.
It's really great to listen to another songwriter talk about their process and why they wrote a song and how it came about. So I had all those images. It's about the memories of my dad, who I lost when I was 7. Yeah. And, they've been bubbling for a long time. So it started to form into a song.
And I do understand those memories because my dad was 9 when he died. But it's amazing how many of those memories are still there. And sounds like for you, still a long time later, it's, I think, we're 27 years later for me. And it's just, they're still fresh. As strange as it is, so we get to still enjoy them.
Well, look, and I've there's a lot of stuff I don't remember, and I always had a thing where there's a lot of, which I talk about in the song, in a roundabout ways, that there's obviously old photos, and most of them black and white, and but the image in the photos was nothing like what I did remember, and that's a bit vague. But so that was I thought, why couldn't I remember? When a lot of some people remember when they were 4 and they remember everything. I can remember the first day I went to school. Yes. And that was, I think I might have mentioned this in the other interview, but that was where I met James Minson now.
Yes.
Who was John Minson's son, the younger son, and Laurie's brother.
Yes.
Who I keep promising to reconnect with next time in Tamworth. So this festival.
This year.
I really would love to see how he's doing. Sorry, that was a bit of a side.
That's okay.
So and yet a lot of my stuff about my dad I don't remember, whether it was the trauma or but there's a few things I because he drove wheat trucks in that season, and then he was mainly a shearer.
Okay, yes.
So I had, and some of those things that are really, and you would know the same, those memories that are really strong that you just are like an old photograph or an old movie.
Yes. Yes.
I remember cleaning the floor in the shearing shed. I remember seeing him shearing sheep, and riding in the truck. I remember being in huge trouble because I climbed in the back of the wheat truck just as it was about to be. The header was about to start filling the truck.
Wow.
So, you know, I may have got something on the bottom that day, and you remember
them. I remember them well.
So that I wrote it a while back. It's and then more recently re-recorded it, and at a studio up here at Morayfield in Queensland called Touchwood Productions, a guy called Duncan Wood, and we co-produced it and recorded it. And I wasn't sure if it was, with songs, there's so much you can do to it. We put an acoustic down, and there's some keyboards and strings and stuff. And just recently I played it to Mick McCartan, and wonderful musician and drummer and all-round musician. And he had a listen, and I sort of said, what does it need? And he was kind enough to say nothing.
Nothing.
So, as musos, we tend to keep wanting to add all the time. It's like, if only I had like a dance loop behind it, it'd be a hit.
There's never enough, you keep changing. Sometimes you just got to leave well enough alone, don't you?
Yeah. It was a lovely thing for him to say, but and it was also gave me a little sigh of relief, and so I never released it as a single in the past. It was only part of a cassette, and so let's do it. Let's get it out there, and
Have you listened to the cassette and then listened to this single? Are they
No, that's a really good point. That's something I must do. Do you know? I hadn't even thought of doing that.
Oh, really?
It's a wonderful idea. No, I really hadn't.
You have to let me know. I would reckon it'd be very interesting to see how things have changed and what it sounds like, the different sounds.
Thank you for that. I will do that. That's
more work for you.
I do keep a cassette player. I've got to plug it in.
I do too. Yeah. I've got a cassette player with my record player. I've even got a tape player for the VHCs that we used to get the music videos on. I was so excited when I got a new music video for Christmas. It was that and The Man from Snowy River got a fair workout. We've got lots of people popping in. Kaz said she went to school with you, and did you go to Tamworth High? She didn't think that you did.
I did go to Tamworth High, and I'm so sorry. I know it's to say hello, but to think you hadn't been to Tamworth was so idiot.
It was the other way around, yeah.
Well, I was thinking about Gympie too, but
yes.
I mustn't have been the same year. But that's a guess.
Yeah, gosh.
But yes, I went to Tamworth High. I did leave in 1980.
Yeah, around the same time, Kaz. Were you in the same year? Kaz would remember. Jonathan's watching from the UK, and he's popped in to say hi.
How are you, mate?
Jonathan supports Australian music so lovely. He's just so into Australian artists, and he's just so wonderful. He's into all artists that are brilliant, but he does love
the
Aussie ones. Yeah. So I reckon Kaz will pop it in the comments shortly to tell us whether you're in the same year or a different year.
I'd love to find out. I'm hoping I'm right and it wasn't the same year, and it's not just my terrible memory. But,
I honestly struggle to remember. I know people that were at school, but I don't know if they were above me in my year or below. I wouldn't know. So yeah, it's just.
I do remember. Yeah, I do know Kaz, and I'm just, trying to remember a history of it. Yeah. And luckily, it's not just an old person disease, because I've always been like this. If it hasn't got a lyric and a chord chart in it.
It's so different, isn't it? That's what I said. I wish I could remember my day-to-day life like I do lyrics. Because if I could remember things like I do songs, I would be really clever. It's incredible how many you retain, but nothing else. So maybe I just need to start singing to my students so that I can remember what I'm teaching them.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
They may not. They may start throwing things at you next time they see you, telling me to do that. Oh dear. It's so lovely to see you releasing this, and especially one that you've written for so long. Have you were saying you were going to release an EP? Is that recorded and ready to go, or are you still looking at?
Look, it's on the way. We've got a mix, and I trying to decide at the moment whether to get somebody else to mix them or do it myself. Okay. And to listening to Jimbo again, I may hit up Rod and see if he's got some spare time. But I also, and if Laurie Minson probably, if he sees this, I've been meaning to call him because that's probably a bucket list thing for me, and I've been thinking about for a long time. I may give him a call and see where he's situated, to maybe come back down to Tamworth for a week or two and see if he's interested in mixing it and maybe doing some finishing touches. And that's something this song has made me do too, because is revisit. I'm not so much into reminiscing, but how it is, you just go down memory lane a little bit, and I don't want to forget my past either.
Yeah, that's right.
So so I talk to Laurie every time. We always hook up and bump into each other at gigs and hook up down at all the Tamworth or any of the festivals. And he's such a beautiful man, and obviously just one of the best musicians in Australia.
Absolutely.
And of course the beautiful Shelley. What a wonderful band and couple and double act they are.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do. I think it'd be a nice full circle thing as well. So thank you for that. I think you've just clarified what I've got to do.
You know what you have to do.
Yeah.
I find it interesting how you said that you're not sure if you mix it yourself or get someone else to do that, because I always love hearing the reason that artists have mixed the releases the way they have, and some have it for a story, some do it by sound, and it would be really interesting to see what you would do as opposed to somebody else mixing it, the same music, and what they hear over what you hear.
Definitely. So the group of songs I've got as a mixture of, I've probably got about 4 or 5 songs ready to go, but they're a mixture of some songs I had released. So a song called Man Made New, which was actually the CD I released in the 90s. We had already done a new version of that where we were doing a recording session for Saltbush 6 actually, and Peter Clark, our drummer, graciously said he'd play for me. So we put down a new version of that, and then I got lucky enough to get Michael Flanders to put some pedal steel on it.
Yes.
And
I love
he's a great guy, great and awesome player, obviously, and so well known in Nashville there.
Yes.
And he and one of his sons is a possibility for mixing too. So this is one of the things you have to decide as well, of course, is it's come out quite traditional in styling, and I like that. So that's, do I mix it so that the American market would really accept it as well?
Yeah.
And that's the thing you have to take into account now, that even more than ever, because like we're talking about, that it's not a matter of you might hope that somebody would pick you up in the States or somewhere else. That they're going to hear it if they want to, the same time somebody in Australia hears it.
Isn't that lovely that we've got that now?
It's really lovely. It's a little bit of a pressure thing in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
It is wonderful.
Yeah, you're right about that too. Like you've really got to think about your release and what you want it to do. As you said, do you want it to sell in the States? Do you want it to sell to your younger country fans? Do you want it to where do you want it to sit within the industry? And that's another layer that I probably hadn't thought a lot about in that sort of mind of, are you writing this for a particular reason? Are you recording it for this reason or for that reason, or are you just doing it because you feel that it's what you want to do? And if that's the case, you're probably not worried about where it sits either. It just depends on your aim.
Yeah, there's that lovely thing when you're younger that it's just a matter of doing it and having a chance to do it. So, and you should. But then there's that later on. There's that thing of a certain level of quality, and that's without even getting into technical issues of where you have to mix and master now, which is the mastering is the finishing of the polishing, if you like, of the mixes, the audio, for the people who don't know that. And as you know, YouTube and everybody has compression algorithms for Spotify, Apple Music have their own compression algorithm, so that keeps all the music from being too loud and at about the same level. But if you mix your songs too loud, they get squashed really hard. So so it's another reason to get somebody else to mix it too, because they'll have that knowledge possibly instinctively, and they've been doing it. Also, how we hear things is the Australians have a certain way we like to hear our country music, especially, but all rock music as well. Dance music's a little different. It tends to be a little worldwide. It is a totally different feel. Yeah, EDM especially. Whereas the Americans, Canadians are a little closer to us, probably. Because with Saltbush, we spent a lot of time with Jason McCoy and the boys from the Roadhammers, and awesome band, another lovely group of guys. And the Canadians have a very similar vibe to us in country music, I think.
I feel like they're quite a close relation to us in that respect, actually. I've worked with quite a few Canadian artists over the last couple of years, and it's very similar, and lovely attitudes, lovely people, and really they love their music like we do.
So exactly, and do it for the same reasons, I suppose. And look, I'm sort of jumping around, but that's again why I wanted to release Father's Eyes and pull out and redo some of the older songs, because that's where wanting to do music came from, and then even more so country music, that singing about real events, about songs from the heart. That obviously I want to speak to other people's relationships and their experiences too, but I'm not so concerned about not telling my story or telling my story that I don't want to. I want to be personal too.
Yes, you want to people connect to that, I think, as well. That level of personal, there's a lot of people that connect to that. And as I said with Jimbo, like if you feel and you enjoy it that much, people will enjoy it too, because they feel that coming from the artist as they're performing and as it's recorded. And I think it's a lovely thing to be able to do. I certainly wouldn't get up there and sing a song about my past, because nobody would want to hear me singing it.
Well, good songwriters don't have to sing.
That's true. Look at us go. But what can we do? Because I know it comes out tomorrow, midnight tonight, really. It'll come out. Can people pre-order? Where's the best thing to help you with and hear this single first?
Thanks, Danni. Yeah, thanks for asking. So we have a pre-save. I have links on my pages, and I'll
put one in the comments for them.
That's a pre-save for Spotify at the moment, because again, if you're not releasing an EP or an album now, you can't have a pre-save for Apple. Another little tidbit.
That's really weird. I don't understand that. Yes, but it's
it'll be a preferred track. Oh, I'm doing that again. Preferred track.
I have to say, I'm not an Apple fan. I like to go down the other parts, but Apple's not my favourite.
Well, I mean, he suddenly says backpedaling, but all those platforms will be wonderful, whichever one you use. Look, and obviously iTunes. So from midnight, I'll as soon as I've got all the links, I'll post up and share the links for the actual play. That the song's out and you can stream it, and hopefully if one or two people want to buy it on iTunes, that'd be lovely too. I'll fill those links. People were so generous, because we did chart. I can't remember when we spoke last time, but we did speak after. That's right. Yeah, that was I have to thank people so much for supporting it and getting me into the charts with iTunes. That was wonderful. And
so lovely.
Yeah, wonderful.
It was lovely to see, and well deserved. But it's really exciting to see you doing it again. And are you planning on? Because I know you just said you've got a few more songs. Are you going to try and keep doing this? Is this like the next few years? That is your plan, to get more music out and keep going with it?
Yeah. Look, I'm now going to keep it running and keep a fairly regular release schedule. It's a pain because of algorithms. You do have to think about whether you release a single or an EP. I sort of did want to release the EP this time, but the way it all works, it was better for me to put a couple more singles out before I did an EP, or hopefully an album later too.
Absolutely, to get the traction of that body of work, because I'm always going to be a traditional. I like it in my hand, and I love that body of work, and I really love. It used to be you'd play an album, whether it be record, tape, or CD. It didn't matter. You would play it from start to finish. You would hear how the artist had mixed it. But you'd hear that song come on the radio, and then before that song ends, you've got the next song playing in your mind because you knew what was next. And I miss that. I think that's a really cool part of music that we used to have.
Yeah, me too. And it's the weirdest thing when I was looking at my my artist pages, setting up ready for the single to come out, Father's Eyes.
Yes.
So it has Big Noise, Bright Lights there ready, and then it's got my upcoming. Yeah. And I just want there to be more songs in that list now too.
I cannot wait for. Yes.
I'll click on that one again then, shall I?
Yeah. And it's funny also because back then you'd put a body of work out and you'd have a handful of. I guess they were the radio singles, weren't they back then? For that album, but often for me, my favourite songs on those albums weren't those singles. They were the tracks that you didn't hear other places, and I'm like, I really like this one. It's a hidden gem, and yes, we don't get that as well anymore, which I miss too.
No, so it's the one thing I will, or another thing I will try and do this time is do other versions too. I had plans with the Big Noise, but I'm already ready to go with a bit simpler acoustic version of Father's Eyes, and
did you write it on guitar? Was it guitar that you wrote it on when you originally did it?
Yes, it really was with this one, and all of this. That's another common denominator with the next upcoming songs, the 4 or 5, whether it becomes an EP. Yes, they're all me sitting down with an acoustic, and just writing chords, playing what I felt to those lyrics. They really things like I think Father's Eyes was one of those songs that came pretty quickly, but then took a while to hone and to grow into a better song. It's one thing, like I do, obviously people can see, just to have a train of thought that just dribbles out, but then you have to make it singable and listen.
You have to fine line it. Absolutely. It's one thing to have the idea, and then it's the next is to dress it out so that it actually flows and works, isn't it?
I do write a little bit on keyboard, and one thing, this was sort of there's a big thing, always been a big thing, but now it's really the main way people write is to throw up loops on the computer and then start trying to write a hit. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean,
if it works for
the
them,
up-tempo song, it's nothing wrong. It's a good song. It's a good song. But I wanted to come back. This is what maybe another reason maybe come back to these songs and some of the new ones I've written as well that'll be in the group is to just pick up the guitar again and write the song and then record it. And then produce it. Sure, you have to produce it, but
you then build it, don't you? It's like your Christmas tree. You got to add to it.
Rather than sitting there going, I don't know, it's that's a 16-beat loop, and we need some more tambourine and just a little bit of hip hop vibe over here, and just a little over there. No, thank you. Not later, maybe.
Later.
I'll get back to that.
And you'll enjoy it either way. Kaz has said, she has been here, she said that you had, it was 1975 onwards, and she said back then you had reddish brown hair and a fringe.
Oh.
Kaz, do you have a photo? Do you have a photo from school? That would be great.
In my defense.
In your defense, You had
so was it Karen? Or was Kaz Karen? This is, maybe we'll have to DM or something, and you can slap me around. Also, I have been editing video all day, and I've actually been staring at a little 17-inch screen trying to get my little mouth movements to get
does not
in
sound
time.
fun.
So my brain is even more frazzled than normal.
Yes. So are you sitting up till midnight for the release, or are you gonna go to sleep and wake up and be the world? You're gonna do it.
I don't. Yeah, I remember last time that it failed because it wasn't until I then got up that it was available. I'm hoping now, because I've already had a release, that I'll be able to put it up straight away. So Beck Gracie, the country journo, she actually had the links up before I even got up. Thank goodness.
She sits up. She's so incredible. She sits up to see where people are charting, and I don't know how she does the hours she does. She's incredible.
Yeah, she really is incredible and so generous with the time, and so couldn't do it without her. It's really lovely, and just so funny as well that this again, exactly what you're saying, that people, sure, there's businesses and stuff, but the fact that just people want to help is wonderful.
It is beautiful,
So,
and
I can return some of that too.
Yes, it's lovely to be able to return it, and it's something to be proud of that we're part of this beautiful industry that actually cares about what we're doing. Oh, Karen said, she said it's okay. She was a nerd at school.
But do you remember me? Because I was like,
she reviews a lot of music, Kaz, and she would love to review your music as it comes out. So it would be lovely. She does great reviews. She does amazing reviews. There's
possibly a chance she would have maybe seen me when I was first starting to play too. So she got to see me when.
It has to be nice because she might have footage. You never know.
Yeah, that's unlikely. See, that's unlikely because unless it's like the school musical, which really would be scary. But I think I talked about that last time. That's that experience where I didn't get the main part because the tall twins got it. Yes. So don't remind me of that. It hurts too much.
It's still raw. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. I am heading your way in the end of September, so hopefully we can maybe catch up and see how Father's Eyes is doing. It would be lovely to do that and see how you're going with it all. But I hope you can brave us again for your next release, because I'm loving what you're putting out. And again, reminding people one more time, we can hit the pre-save link, the pre-order link before midnight tonight, and it will be there ready for them when they wake up. That's how we're hoping it will work, isn't it? Hopefully.
Well, yeah, thank you, Danni. I just hope people get a chance to listen to it, and I hope they love it. Sorry, that came out wrong. I hope it really speaks to them. And
I have had a listen to this song, and it is a beautiful song, and I think they will absolutely love it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the video of what you've been doing with that as well. So
I hope you're looking forward to it too.
It's very exciting.
I'm pretty excited about it too. It's actually come out pretty nicely. So.
Lovely. And that you'll premiere that, will you? You'll put that out on your pages and everything as well.
Yes. Yeah, we'll probably leave that a couple of days afterwards, and I'll defer to Beck too on that. She's more industry savvy. There's all the release things you do.
He knows. Oh, the Loop Twins, Kaz said. Pajama Game Loop Twins. She's remembering. She's got a great memory.
Mine's God.
Mine's unless it's a lyric, it's gone.
We've definitely got to talk.
Yes, that's right. Well, thank you so much for having us again and coming back. We absolutely love having you every time. But yeah, hopefully we can catch you again before the year's out, and then definitely we've got to catch up in Tamworth and come and watch a show. I'll come and watch a show with you when you're there. But before we do, you were saying before about the Tamworth, the Songwriting Association, actually. And it's something that we haven't talked a lot about on the show. And that's something that people heading to Tamworth can get a ticket to that event, can't they? It's the awards night that usually runs in Tamworth for that song, isn't it? For that show.
Yes, there's a one special event, but there's a whole heap of little concerts. So they're all over the place, and they will be. I imagine they'll be in the main app as well, but on the Tamworth Songwriters Association website has all the gigs. It's everything from brand new young artists or older artists just starting to really seasoned artists.
It is such a special show. I love that they do. And if you guys haven't heard, I know Kaz would have heard, definitely. She's across it better than me. But I think if none of you have heard of it and you're heading to Tamworth, make sure you go and see it, because it is one of the gems of Tamworth. I don't think you can understand it till you go. It's like that whole Tamworth thing, really. But
really wonderful. It's the heart and soul of the whole thing.
It really is. Yeah.
I'm really upset with myself actually, because I'd let my membership lapse, and so I'm so glad to be back in the fold and help in any way I can and be a part of that again.
Absolutely. And that's what Tamworth's all about too. We all get in and we all chip in and do something for each other, don't we? So get along and see it. But before you do, go and finish here tonight. Once we close off, head up, push the link, because then you will get a notification first thing tomorrow when you wake up for Allan's new song, Father's Eyes. You will love it. I promise. I had a sneak peek. So go and do it now before everybody goes to sleep. Thank you again, Allan. It's been lovely having you.
Thanks, Danni. Thanks, everybody.
See you all later. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.